Well, let's pick up the big story from the U.S. now. Former U.S. President Donald Trump leaving his residence in Florida and flying to New York City ahead of his scheduled court appearance on Tuesday, facing more than 30 charges related to hush money allegedly paid to a porn star. Trump becomes the first former president to be charged in a criminal case. SABC News correspondent Nick Harper is in West Palm Beach in Florida, and this is just outside Trump's Mar-a-Lago property. Nick, good evening to you and welcome. It's an historic moment, and we saw earlier in the day some of the streets there lined with his supporters as he left his residence in Mar-a-Lago heading to New York. Just describe some of the scenes that you witnessed earlier.
Yeah, man, an historic day, an unprecedented day. We are in uncharted territory, seeing a former president on his way to a court appearance. Never has that happened in US history. So I'm just outside of Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence. About 45 minutes ago, 11 black vehicles, his motorcade, left his property and headed just the 3 miles to the airport. There were supporters lining the route. Here, just outside of his residence, not many, I have to admit, a handful, just a couple of dozen. I'm told there were more along the route up towards the airport, and a small group gathered there as well. But the people that I was speaking to here earlier said that they were excited to see the president. Obviously, they feel that he is being politically persecuted, that he is innocent of all charges, and they've wanted to come out and show their support. We also had 3 helicopters overhead, a combination of police and news crews, and plenty of news crews here on the ground, several dozen international news teams all lining this route, really to see this historic moment with Donald Trump on his way to the airport. He is now in the air. His private jet with the word Trump on the side of it is on its way to New York City. That flight is about 2 hours and 10 minutes, and he'll be landing a little bit later on this afternoon. And that is when he will be heading to Trump Tower to spend the night and get ready for Tuesday's court appearance.
So, Nick, you talked about tomorrow's or Tuesday's court appearance where he'll be fingerprinted and have his mugshot taken. He is denouncing the charges. He is insisting on his innocence. How has his position divided public opinion? I was hearing from our colleague Sean Bryce-Pease in New York a short time ago that, in fact, in some cases, it's boosted his presidential aspirations in terms of the polling.
Yeah, and Showen's right. I mean, that's certainly what we've seen, that polling suggesting that he has seen a real increase from Republican voters. One poll just out yesterday suggested that 54% of Republicans now feel that Donald Trump should be the nominee for the Republican Party next year. Out of any other people running or anyone who may run in the future, they feel that despite these charges against him, despite the other investigations that are running in the background, and there are plenty of those, they still feel that he is the man that should be leading the charge for the Republican Party into the 2024 election. And that is likely to continue. Remember, Donald Trump loves publicity. He is a man who thinks that perhaps all publicity is good publicity, and that's certainly what we've seen coming out the back of this. He said that he raised more than $5 million in the 48 hours after those indictment charges were announced. His supporters that I've spoken to on the ground certainly aren't turning away from him. If anything, it's made them more passionate about the man, more ready to support him all the way. They say it is political persecution of the highest kind by a Democrat administration, by a Democrat judge, by a Democrat district attorney, and they all feel that this is very unfair for a man that they say is innocent.
And it's a curiosity for us from here in South Africa as to whether he can still run for president. And it seems, barring a few peculiarities, there is nothing standing in his way, even if he's charged.
Yeah, it's quite incredible. Constitutionally speaking, there is nothing standing in the way of him running again. Even if he's charged, even if he goes to trial and is convicted of a crime, he can still run for president and become president. If he's in jail, that obviously complicates matters. But for now, he is able to run, and there is nothing stopping him from a purely legal and constitutional point of view. And that's something that Donald Trump and his supporters are reminding everybody of. He intends to run a campaign while also potentially facing not just a criminal lawsuit, but facing a trial as well, because we're told that when he appears in that Manhattan courtroom, he will be pleading not guilty. That means that it'll be heading to trial, something that may not happen for many months. This is a difficult case and will involve a lot of paperwork, a lot of processing ahead of a trial. It may well be that we don't see that happening for many more months to come. And remember, during that time, Donald Trump is undoubtedly going to use it as a way to galvanize his base and probably raise more money for that war chest to help him run for president next year.
Nick Harper will be watching with great interest. Thank you very much for sharing your observations. Nick Harper is our SABC News correspondent, live for us there from Florida.